All right. Hello there, my friends. This is going to be really quick. I know you're seeing my ceiling fan here and the thumbnail. I'm not even gotten out of bed, and I really want to get back to the market as soon as possible. But obviously, gold and silver absolutely hammered. I can understand people are upset, angry, and frustrated. People like Ross Benham. I mean, the banks and the stuff that goes on, blah, blah, blah. We know, you know, just to the degree that I can't make a guarantee or give financial advice, but I am sure going, at least as I've sat there and digested the things that have happened overnight and what's happening right now, at least in my mind, it would seem pretty darn likely there's going to be a sharp rebound at some point. Hey, maybe it goes $100 lower in gold, or I don't think that's going to happen. And it looks as if it may have hit a bottom based on past ways these things go, even in the last couple of minutes. I don't know exactly. There's a lot of wild stuff happening. But keep in mind the other thing, what I haven't heard anybody talk about, you have CPI coming out tomorrow morning. And then March 11th, I continue to learn as much as possible, which is very little to this point, but the Russian thing with their internet being switched. I've heard someone suggest, I believe it was Cliff High, suggest that the 11th is the date they actually get disconnected from Swift. I don't know 100% if that's accurate. I don't think anybody knows 100% if anything's accurate, but to the degree that I understand people are damn well rightfully frustrated. I mean, it's like you had the COVID thing, you have all these other things, and it's like people are trying, you see a stock bubble and people are trying to keep their money safe in some way or the other, turn to gold and silver. So now it's really like affecting people's ability to live while you see the prices of everything soar. Although I just see zero hedge alert. Bumble shares up 38% today. So people are piling into Bumble shares. None of these companies are going to be affected by the inflation. None of these companies are going to be affected by customers that now are paying more for oil. And this thing in Ukraine, this idea that they're like, oh, well, so just fixed, Wall Street priced it in. Give me a break. What? And you see how they switch the headlines. It's disgusting. It's frustrating, but do your best. I'm going to go calm down now. I did a nice little meditation before I started. I have a meeting with a lawyer today that I am quite excited about. So there, Belly Dance is not frustrated. She reads the Bible and feels better. Great. Anything you can do to stay calm. Pandora's box is stone with 5 or 6 freaking exclamation marks. So do whatever you have to. I make videos. It helps me feel better. MM126 says, yes, CPI is tomorrow. So the things I'm hearing about the bullion dealers and the demand for physical metal, the longer they do this, the more guaranteed they are to blow it out. So anyway, maybe this was therapy for myself this morning, but just to the degree that if anyone's wondering what to do, stay calm and do not, I don't know, can't tell you what to do, but that will be my approach, where it's silver, I think, is down a dollar from I don't know, 7 or 8 hours ago. Gold, I mean, heavy volume right after London opened. Oh, yeah, here's the other thing. I'll leave you with this one. So they just had to shut down the nickel market because the price was going up so damn fast. And it's interesting. Nickel, if you looked at it, it was, at least the chart I saw, it looks like it was like floating between 10 to 20,000 for a couple of years. So remove a couple zeros. And then it's kind of like the silver price. It was just floating between 10 to 20. And then in like a couple of days, it was over 50,000. And then I think it went up again further before they finally closed it. Interesting. Well, maybe one other note. Oh, yeah. So, well, actually, a note on that first note there. Sorry, a lot going on. So, while this is happening, and everything that's happening in the Ukraine, as soon as London opened, somebody in the face of all that had the balls. I mean, I think it's criminal or disgusting, whatever you want to call it, and I think I know exactly who it is, but shorted the shit or sold a ton of gold. Okay, well, I think that's pretty, aside from my emotional feelings about it as a trader, well, it seems a really ballsy time to be doubling down, especially when you saw what happened in nickel. I saw one of those triple levered ETFs got bankrupt. So be careful with those things. Be careful with the products that your money is in with your counterparties. I mean, however things shake out in the next couple of days or over the weekend, I mean, it's obvious the Fed is intervening. It's obvious the Exchange Stabilization Fund is active as well. And it's obvious that they will never tell you. They'll just continue lying to you and all that other stuff. So, anyway, some fiery thoughts. Now you know what my current ceiling fan looks like. And yeah, excited to have a meeting with a lawyer today where I think at least be able to get some answers that will be relevant. And then, what are some options or different things like that. And anyway, I just thought it was important to share some of these things. And, because I know it's not easy to watch yet. Keep in mind, CPI tomorrow, and things will change quickly. So if you can I would say if you could take a nap until Sunday afternoon before the open and do as little as possible. I will not tell you to do that. That will be my own advice for myself, except for I'm going to go buy some silver miner call options on some of my favorite mining stocks. It'll be interesting to see how the miners are reacting today. Stock market is up a lot, or has been. I think it was again this morning. Silver companies are stocks, so they don't really get that stock market bid too often, but we will see what's happening. Rolf Steiner, is gold going to zero? I guess we'll find out today. I'm going to suggest not. But here's the best part. Top of the hour call with Steve Cope of Silver Viper that I recorded yesterday. And I even anticipated that we were going to be sharing it today. So to calibrate all of that in, it'll be perfect. You'll be feeling better. And based on the numbers Mike Sayer is reporting, and the other dealers that I'm hearing from, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Okay. And I remembered the other one I was going to say before. And this is worthwhile. Listen to Craig Hemke's podcast yesterday, or his interview, or his article rather, where he talked about how he was pretty darn concerned that what just happened in nickel now could really spark, and this could be game over in silver, gold, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which obviously, makes a lot of sense. But the reason that really caught my attention was even back when I was writing the book, The Big Silver Short, available on Amazon, or better yet, on the ArcadiaEconomics.com homepage, or audible.com. If you'd like to listen, hear the actual interviews themselves. But that aside, you can go buy it now. But aside from buying The Big Silver Short now, I always loved listening to Craig because he goes through his data. He's very consistent, methodical, and, I guess I was, through our conversations throughout the years, you'll see this in the book, the different times he's been on the show. I guess I thought the same thing then that I do now, where it's like, this is going to just smash at some point. And if you tell me it's not Sunday night or next week, when the Fed has a meeting and they're allegedly going to raise interest rates, or a whole bunch of other stuff, Russia going out of the financial system and gold back this and that. I mean, if you said that's not Sunday night and the week throughout after that, and, I can believe that. Am I hearing palladium is up? Someone's saying. That's interesting. I'll bet rhodium's up where they don't have a futures contract. And Here's the thing. Craig was always like the opposite side of that spectrum, which not, I mean, in a sense, he was right. He was always like, yeah, maybe, but, we're nowhere near that point. And what I'm getting at here is that, just as I look at different indicators, when the more conservative people are like, yeah, it's going to happen one day, when even they're raising the alarm, now it's like, wow. I mean, it's different than, someone who's always saying, oh, it's going to go to 1 million tomorrow. I'm not to pick on Bix, but just like as a contrast, Bix is often saying more extreme things, whereas now to hear Craig say it, I mean, they're great things that they both said, but just as, wow, that alarm indicator really going off high on a variety of levels. And then, when you factor in the smashes in the price, somebody sold contracts. Now, I'll bet they're going to buy back as many of those contracts lower as possible. That's how this pump and dump works. And speaking of which, I am now going to wrap this one up so I can get some of the option contracts before Jeff and his Goldman friends are done covering on the COMEX. But I think I just laid this all out pretty clearly because I've been thinking, how would you explain this to a lawyer or maybe someone who's new and being like, what the heck is going on? Well, I hear people are buying the heck out of silver. The price is skyrocketing some days and then it comes down. I think I covered it pretty well, all in all. And then, just in case you're not sure, there's this guy, Rostin Benham of the CFTC, who rigs and condones it, and will be taking legal action against sooner than you might believe. And for more information on that, go to arcadiaeconomics.com, where you can find the evidence room. And boy, wait till you see what I'm going to be updating on that one. It's already hot, where we caught the regulators on the crime with JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. My lawyers are going to love it. Your lawyers are going to love it. Everybody except Ross Benham and dirty criminals who have been stealing from the nation, they might not like it so much, but I don't know. Maybe Jeff Christian will do a video on that soon, but I am out. Steve Cope and more answers coming up top of the hour. See you soon. Love you.